Shockley complains when I try to install my PC. Maybe we did something in like the file. What's it called? Project dot. It says this is the dependency. I'm expecting 3.7. Honestly, I'd be happy to just stop supporting 3.7. If I'm being honest. But I'm generally okay with more bleeding edge stuff. Okay, so what this is doing is it's opening this IPython terminal. It's setting up hooks for these methods, such that whenever these methods are called, it's going to first execute them in the scene, passing the scene as the object of the method. Then it's going to automatically update frame. So that's what's happening here. And I guess touching does the same thing too, perhaps? Now, I don't think we have an update frame method like this. So I'm gonna see that pi. Play. My internal. We have update to time, but this update to time doesn't redraw the frame. We need something that redraws the frame based on what's in the scene, and that's render. So is that all we need? It's just to call render.render. So here, this actually does have an update frame. This defines update frame, calls update frame, and assuming right to move is false, it's going to basically waste time for a frame. This is where it's arbitrarily throttling the frame rate. So this might not be so bad after all. Let me open up an example. I keep using my old shortcuts. Scenes. Or not interaction, but live update, I guess. I'm gonna add a square or something. Square. Let's OpenGL square. Add that in, and then I'm just gonna try using this self.embed. Needs more Manim Vim plugins. That'd be pretty cool. Honestly, the new LSP thing I'm using, it does feel a little cluttered, not gonna lie. But I definitely want to use that over the other one. I was using like a third-party one pretty much before. Okay. So let me go to scene.py. Right now there's no embed, but right before play, right? Actually, this is probably a good place, but I'll just put embed. A man page. What would it be though? I feel like it would just be a link to the documentation. Okay, all this needs to do is, I'll just have it print embedding. Just for the heck of it. I'll try this live update. Okay, so that did everything I expected it to at least. Now we're gonna want to pause this. Okay, so let me make this import time dot sleep like 10 seconds. Oh, I didn't add anything to the scene. I want to do this and then self.wait, I guess. TLDR entry might be nice. If we just have a square and a circle. It might be nice, yeah. I'll just play this so I can tell something's happening. Okay, and it is pausing where I expect, but 10 seconds is way too long, so I'm just going to... Actually, let me print something. Yeah, okay. So it's going here. Now, what I want this to do is whatever the upstream version does. If not self.preview return, that makes sense. I really should probably log a warning. I have the logger imported. While no review window is available, then return, that makes sense. So then stop skipping I don't understand, because I'm not sure what this function actually does. Yes, self.skip animations. Setting this boolean to false and then incrementing the skip time. Well, I guess self.skip animations is, well, let me just see what it's used for. An update frame. Okay, so frames won't update basically. At least in the upstream version. If this is set, then update frame won't work. Emit frame won't work. Get time progression will return a single variable. Okay, so basically it disables all of the animating. I don't think we have an equivalent of that though. If I look at the renderer. Wait, which buffer was this in? Oh, this one, 883. Okay, look at the renderer here. Don't think there's anything stopping it. I think it's probably pretty silly to do this if write to movie is true. But I don't think that'll stop anything. I wonder if there's any variable that prevents play from working. Honestly, if there's not, we'll probably just run into it later on. That's probably fine. Linger after completion equals false, which also doesn't make sense to me. It seems like you would want it to linger after completion. But we don't have an equivalent of this anyway, so I think that's fine. Update frame, I think it's just a single call to render. So we just do self.renderer.render, I think. If I go to scene, I got play internal. Now we do have a skip rendering flag. Oh, it takes a time. That might be annoying. I will want to set wait, skip rendering? Well, I guess since that's passed in, I don't have to set it globally. Okay, so I do want to update the frame, and this will update the frame. But it takes a time parameter that I don't have. So let me see if it actually depends on that time parameter in a crucial way. It says the frame offset. Okay, this is only used to basically to stall time. So if I basically don't want it to stall time if I'm doing it this way. And maybe I should just pass another parameter. It says while self-animation elapsed time is less than frame offset. Maybe I can just make this always false. Like if I set it to 0, set it to -1. So then self.animation elapsed time is always greater than or equal to that. Where's animation elapsed time even set? Oh, it's set in play. Okay. So I think that'll be fine. And if I run that, no attribute preview. Oh yeah, it's a flag or something. We also need to revamp our flags and our configuration more generally. I don't even have the config. Oh, it's not self.config. I think this is it. Okay. Cool. So then what next? That's when it imports IPython. This is interactive shell embed and registers some stuff. This doesn't look that crazy. So let's just update the. I don't need to comment that here. I say configure IPython shell. Import IPython.terminal.embed cannot be resolved. Okay. Honestly, that should totally be a code action, right? It didn't work. Okay. My LSP client is bad. Let me just see what I need to import. Oh, is it just importing it here? Okay. Guess we don't have to import anything. This does this. Reads shell. Does these, registers these events. Saves the local variables. And I guess at the end it raises an exception for some reason. Oh, it automatically ends when you finish an embed. Okay. I don't know if we have end scene early exception. We don't. Okay, so let me just get the local variables at least. Use the locals of the caller as the local namespace. That makes sense. Once embedded, add a few custom shortcuts. Once embedded and add a few custom shortcuts. So, oh wow, this is kind of jank, but I guess it works. This is finding the current stack frame. I think F back is going up a stack frame and then reading the local variables. Then touch calls self.interact, I guess, which we don't have that function. And each of these functions, methods, that method is being mapped to the scene of that method. Wait, what'd I do? These should be called map. Or honestly, just method. Then shell locals. Okay. So let's see if that works. Nope. Oh, there's no save state. And there's no restore either. I don't think we have a clear. Definitely have a play. Guess we don't have a clear, but then again, I don't totally see why we would have a clear. Okay. Like print square. Okay. RGBA. Yeah, so that much works pretty straightforwardly. Except for exiting. Oh, because I have that time.sleep. This. Anyway, now if I exit, it just stops. Okay. So maybe I can play, but actually, let me see. Let me just try to play. Circle, animate, shift, right. That was easier than I thought. Stop pretending Python is functional. What I do? I'm not sure what you're referring to when you say that. So this works for play. If I were to do something like add though, this won't work. So if I were to do square 2 equals OpenGL square. Dot set color green. We're out of sync, yeah, probably. So we didn't see this ad immediately. I might be dropping frames or something, I don't know. I'm not a real streamer. And that's because it needs this post run hook. This. That's why shell.events.register post run cell. A lambda? I should probably know what this command is doing. That would probably be a good thing to do. Interactive shell embed. Let me just search this. Embed. Yes. Let's see what post run cell does. Not here. Runs after an interactive execution, e.g. a cell in a notebook. Can be used to clean up or notify or perform operations on any side effects produced during execution. The inline matplotlib backend uses the event to display any figures created, but not explicitly displayed during the course of the cell. The object will be returned as the execution result and is provided as an argument. Pre-run cell, pre-execute. Okay. This one doesn't have an argument being passed, though. Register post-run cell arguments and then self.update frame. Whatever, I won't question it right now. But it's not self.update frame. It'll be self.render.render. Objects like this. Oh, this is just a lambda. It's just a function. Wait, what is passed to this? Callbacks will be passed no arguments unless otherwise specified. And for this one, blah 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 blah. Object which will be the object which will be returned as the execution result is provided as an argument. Okay. So when you add, I don't think anything is returned. Do we have an add function? Oh, there's the renderer. When you add, nothing is something is returned. The object is returned. But oh, and I think that's why that has to be there. Okay, that makes sense. Ish. Yeah, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so maybe this works now. Square 2 equals... Not self, just add square 2, and then play square 2.animate.shift RU, is it? They don't work. Right plus up. Okay. Great, it works. Animate.scale 3. We did it. That wasn't as hard as I thought. Now there's save state and remove state. Interesting. Clear save state and restore. I like the interactive mode. It's pretty nice. Save state. I can see how you would use this. Because if I did some commands that messed something up, then I'd probably want to go backwards. So I guess the way to use this, if I had my example code. Seems OpenGL.py. And I'll just edit this anyway. And if I had this here in the other window, big selling point, it is a really nice feature. And I'll do this in low quality. So now I can see the code while I do this, and maybe that's a little bit easier. Somehow. Torus R1 equals 1, R2 equals also 1, I guess. I can see instructors using it. Yeah, I can see that. Like, you don't want to stop and type, right? That would be really annoying in the middle of a lecture. What if you were in a lecture and you had to type, like, sphere equals, it won't have OpenGL, but like sphere equals sphere, radius equals 3, resolution equals whatever. That'd be super. But it would be a lot nicer. It's a step in the right direction. Well, I guess that's it. I did it. That wasn't so bad. Let me try to use the example from the upstream version since I've been trying to copy those. If it's like a lab, yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, okay. Here's where they use interactive development. And embed will work here. Write won't work. So I guess if you're writing... So let me try to copy this much. Not even using your own bleeding edge. Well, it's not that... I mean, I'd like to use it for myself, don't get me wrong. But if I was teaching and like other people had to rely on it working, that's a little bit harder sell. So I call this interactive. Oh, that didn't take long. Oh yeah, these all have to be OpenGL. Square, the circle. So here it embedded. Exit. And it keeps going. I think if you try writing a movie, it'll just skip over the embed call, maybe. Nope. Write to a closed file, and that makes sense, I guess? Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I don't know why that happened. It must be because... Wait, did I set something to false? Preview window is open. It did this. I don't know why that happened. Did I mess up the stack or something? If I remove this line... how much they charge for those contracts. Oh, Wolfram. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, if you don't embed, everything works. But if you do embed,